G'day everyone, welcome aboard. Life on the Hulls, this is it. This is my my new deck. I've been sitting up here for around about 6 weeks now and I'm wondering how the hell I'm going to go forward, but plenty to do. As you can see, the deck is actually now down and in position. I've got a little bit more head height. The only thing is up here, it's so hot now. We're heading into summer and I'm really starting to feel the heat. Lots of modifications needed to be done going forward. There's one right in front of you there, the mast step. I'm going to show you how I did that. I decided to insert my mast into a recess rather than follow the lines of the catamaran, and that'll come up in the next few episodes. And this week I'm going to basically get inside the boat and measure down from the deck in its suspended position and basically show you how I derived those bulkhead shapes and certainly got to the point where I was able to cut the bulkhead's ready for the deck position. Happy to report it fits. Didn't fit perfectly, needed to make a few modifications, but I'll run you through that as well. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. The last couple of weeks have been tremendous. I've had a huge increase in viewership, and I guess demolding something this big has certainly promoted my channel, and it always helps when you guys like and subscribe, and certainly share it out to your friends. Thanks for joining me. Let's get into it. And then I'm going to slide down here and do myself a bit by the sound of it. Oh, just fell in the anchor hatch. Jesus. Life has taken on a very different aspect now that I have the roof overhead, and yeah, there's a lot of working out to be done. I've spent the last few days since I demolded the hull, levering the deck, jacking it up, levering it, and getting it directly lined up over the hull gunnels. Now that's taken a lot of work, jacking it up by the millimetre and moving it by the millimetre, and I think I'm pretty much there. I'm probably out by about 1 centimetre over on the port side. The next thing I need to do is to determine the bulkhead heights. Now that's going to take quite a considerable amount of effort. Now this tool that I've made up is like an advanced ticking stick. It's a cheap spirit level that, you know, the bubble never lies, and I've put a point on it so that I can run it across the contours of the ceiling, and then I have a hole in the bottom where I can put a Sharpie through it and mark the bulkhead exactly where I need to mark it. Now that's going to be critical. You've got to remember that there's a bit of flex in this, and what my intention is, I may change this idea, but over the course of sealing this lid down is I'm going to basically seal the outside perimeter with bolts with the flange. I'll glue that down, and then I'll come in between the bulkhead and the deck, I'll drive wedges intermittently and then squeeze the plexus in to allow that to bond to it. Now I'm also going to have composite angle on each side of the bulkhead, and that's going to really help with the surface area contact I'm going to have, and then I may even tab where I need to tab. Cool, only about 500 meters to go.
Now, it's blatantly obvious, as you can see, the plotting of the true position of the floating deck above was quite detailed, very tedious, with a dot plotted every 2 centimetres or so, and that gave me the required shapes. Now, this process, it seemed to go on for months, but it actually went on for days, and it was really the only way I could conceivably achieve this task. Should this be a production boat where more than one boat was being produced, I'd imagine the factory would certainly make templates of every single part in this boat to minimise the amount of work involved and get a more accurate, ongoing production model. But in my case, because it's a one-off, that's all I need to do, and I'm glad it was done.
It's a pretty tedious process defining these bulkhead heights. It's been a lot of time on my knees and a lot of time squatting down. I'm probably only about 10% there. I've been going for a day, but the critical thing is I'm getting it almost dead accurate. I can actually see the lines really forming where the deck is going to fit down, and I'm not sure whether I should make 2 cuts or I should make 1 inch higher and then go again, but I think I'm going to be good. I think if I take my time, and if I take my time now, it's going to reduce a lot of extra work later on, especially with tabbing and gluing. If I can get that dead accurate. There's been a lot of this going on. My arms are aching from holding this up, but Jesus, it's a good way to do it. It seems as accurate as I can possibly do it. There's no other way I can do it, short of having a laser measurer to do it. And I think I'm quite happy with this. It's just methodical, it's slow, but it's really defining the shape of the boat. So I've already determined that these old lines are totally inaccurate. Now, I originally did these just with a tape measure, but since I've moved it back a bit, it's actually changed it markedly. Look, there's a full centimetre or 10 millimetres of difference there, so that's why it was important to align the boat first before I go and do all that. I just rough measurements, and they certainly weren't going to pay off. Finally, the apprentice comes to work. Had a nice week off, first week off from finishing work last week, and I've given Janet a really good job to remove all the plasticine around the window inserts. Having fun?
I am actually. It's nice and relaxing. I don't have to think.
Not a lot of thinking involved, is there? Let's have a look at what she's doing. So the plasticine was there to create a radius between the insert and the gel coat, and it basically sits in this here. So this area here is going to be polished up, and then obviously the window is going to sit on this ledge here, around about 40 millimeters wide. But Janet's job is to remove all the plasticine and clean it. And yeah, I was sort of hoping it'd all peel off, but it hasn't. It's pretty much ingrained into the deck there, and it's filthy up here. Given that it's been here for nearly 2 weeks, the whole deck is just putrid with dust. So yeah, lots of this to come off, and we'll get it off before it gets too hot in here, because when we get that huge, I mean, it's probably 30 degrees in here now, but that summer heat when it gets in here is going to be sort of close to 50 degrees up here. This is going to melt and run down and be everywhere, and hopefully Janet or I will be up here.
I'm not going to be up here.
Come on, put in a bit of effort. I'll buy you an ice vest like some people wear. Oh, ice vest, come on, how soft. That's soft. Now, the other thing I've worked out through all of this is that this Dinette module is still about 40 millimeters too high. And how I've worked that out is where the window intersects with the top of this this Dinette module is going to basically create it further down. And that all stems from, firstly, the thicker floor that I have, this 30 millimeter foam floor, which in the original boat was only about a centimetre thick. It's now 30 mil thick, so there's 25 or so millimetres because of the laminates and everything and the 30 mil foam. But also the extra thick foam that I've actually put in the deck there, I've added another centimetre over and above of what the spec was, because simply that's the foam I could get. So the reality is I'm going to end up with this module being slightly lower, which is only going to be 2 or 3 centimetres, and I can compensate that with bigger cushions. So yeah, I've got to cut 50 mil off that entire bulkhead all the way along, same on the other side to make that module fit down. But then once that's done, I can start to work out how that mast post is going to fit. Just make some big decisions coming up. Oh, this is going to suck. I've cut that side. Here is very, very complicated in this mast region. I'm going to think about this at great length, probably give it a week of thought before I hack into that, because I'm considering having a dead flat deck. Now, the problem is the deck isn't dead flat. It's actually on a ramp. I want to cut it in and make an insert for the mast base to actually mount on. Now, this has got to be cut here, and I've also got to cut the second bulkhead as well, but I'm only cutting the top off. It's not like I'm weakening it. All I'm doing is lowering it, probably strengthening it by lowering it, but at the end of the day it's got to be cut. And I hate cutting with a power saw through fiberglass because it just pulverizes the shit and it goes everywhere. It's up my shorts, it's friggin' everywhere, and just the clean up at the end is just not worth thinking about. Now I'm going to open this right out to about, probably about 60 millimetres of blade, because I'm hoping I can actually cut through the second bulkhead at the same time, because it saves a lot of to-ing and froing with a handsaw. But I'm going to have to watch out, because the glass is so different to the wood, you can easily get a kickback, and that recoil off the saw can be bloody dangerous, especially when you're squatting with your legs apart, boys. So, I think we've all been here, we all know what I'm talking about. If you don't understand what I'm saying, because of this frickin' mask. Anyway, let's do it. Okay, that's done. I'm going to try and pull that module back sort of roughly into place and see if we've got a good fit. I think we're going to have a really good fit. Yeah, pretty happy. That's starting to fit really well. It needs to come this way quite a bit. But just got to get back up here now. Just got to get to sit in the right spot. You can see here the post has to be in there, so this all has to go this way, about 3 or 4 inches. I am getting so close. I'm a centimetre out now, and that's a good result. That's taken a bit of effort, so I'm just going to go and shove that last back bit in, and we'll see how it goes. All right, we're going to go take Mum out for a sail. Or have we already been?
I've been.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to say that.
Oh,
I'm trying to compose a video.
Okay, oh, okay.
Sequence doesn't matter. It's all about continuity. Good day, looking pretty good. Don't think we're going to get much wind. So we've got my beautiful mum Bet down for the week, and we went to see James Bond last night. For about 5 minutes I felt like Daniel Craig, and then I remembered I'm about 50 kilos heavier. But we're out on Jervis Bay waiting for some wind. Hopefully Mum's going to get some wind. I've been promising to bring her out sailing. Hey?
Why do I want wind?
You want to sail? We want to sail, Mum. That's the whole idea.
Okay.
Janet's in her usual spot making coffee. Got your order in?
Orders in. Yeah.
Right on.
Orders in.
Oh, look at that detailed coffee making on YouTube. You know how much I hate it. But yeah, beautiful day out here. It's a bit overcast, about 25 degrees, no wind. And sort of, I think Mum's pretty happy about that, aren't you, Bet?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good on you, Mum. That was a nice morning, Mum.
Oh, beautiful morning.
Get out. There's a few dolphin over in the back there.
As long as you can spare the time.
Ah, it's lovely. It's nice not to be laminating. I'll do some tonight. How's that, Mum? Especially just for you. Oh, look at that.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, so beautiful. Isn't it?
Yeah. Could have got a better view than that, couldn't you?
This is it. This is the world class. You'd be a millionaire sitting on a $5,000 boat.
Yeah, right there.
Hey guys. What a day, eh? No wind. Yeah, yeah, for once. First time in months, isn't it? I know. Shocking. Oh, have we already been?
I've been.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to say that.
Oh,
I'm trying to
sorry.
compose a video.
Okay, oh, okay.
Sequence doesn't matter. It's all about continuity. Things have really stepped up a gear. Janet's finished work permanently. And that means Janet's more involved in the project, which is really good because I'm going to get a lot more done up there. We need to revisit this. And yeah, a lot of it's been done, a lot of it hasn't, and for good reason. So we're going to go through and tick off the things that have been done and then reorganise the whole thing, because I think we left this in April. Where are we now?
October.
6 months ago we left this plan. There's a lot of it is done, but we're going to have to revisit quite a bit of it. So let's have a bit of a look, eh? Okay, so this is the done wall over here. That's the done door.
But that's the orders at the top.
Yeah, so they're like orders and things. So we're going to start right at the beginning and say our major steps. So we've got laminate deck. Let's pull that off. Let's see that on the done door.
Plumbing, 14 days. Have you done the plumbing?
Yeah, I haven't done the plumbing, but it's not urgent.
Insurance.
Insurance, yeah, boat building insurance. I think we're going to have a little bit of a session on how we went about getting our insurance, because that was a bit of a problem. And I might have to do a video, a half a video on that, because it's certainly something to consider when you're building a boat. It's one that gave us quite a bit of grief, and everybody in the industry has the same problem apparently.
But you got it.
But we did get it.
Oh, I should.
We did get our insurance for another year, which was very, very good. Training.
Yeah, but you had 2 days.
Yeah, no, that hasn't been done. Holiday, well, that didn't happen. Ripped that off. Well, thanks to COVID-19.
Okay, move on.
Mount Port Head module, that's done.
Cool.
Bow compartments, yep, they're done.
You haven't done the guardrails and stanchions, have you?
No, starboard head, it's done. Forward stateroom, it's done. So apart from painting and final fairing, it's done. That's good.
Oh, you're not supposed to take it off the wall.
No, we've got to do a new one for that because there's a lot more that goes into that.
What I might have to...
Righto.
So, organised winches and reinforcement, stern tube install, fit guardrail, sugar scoop, hot water, tiger, hatches made, rudders, side port lights, deck on.
Yes, deck is on. Well, it's not completely in, but it's on. Laminate deck, yeah, we can rip that off.
High top, no, stern shaft, scoop.
Righto. So that's the end of what's done. That's not a bad effort, given that we've been in lockdown.
That's a great effort.
Yeah, so that's a done door. And now we're going to rejig this whole wall again.